Welcome back, everybody. Our final game of day 2 of the Crescent City Cup. This is not the last game of the tournament. This is not the championship or decider by any means. This is simply the last game of the day. There are 4 more games of Scrabble to be played tomorrow morning, and that's where all the big stakes are going to happen. But we are going to bring you Jackson Smylie and Annie Hoang in this one for our final game of the day. Matt Canik, joined here by Conrad Bassett-Bouchard.
What up?
And yeah, more Scrabble and a little bit of happy hour going on in the background too. So sorry if there's some background
I'm
noise.
not feeling very happy because I don't have an hour. I drink an hour. A what? Huh?
Well, maybe you need better connections in New Orleans, Conrad. Maybe you need.
Dave Wiegand just offered me a drink, bro.
And where is your drink?
I was too lazy to wait in line. Actually, I didn't have $1 and I felt bad not tipping. That's actually the truth.
Oh, you should have asked me. I could have spotted you one. I could
Oh.
have spotted you a 5, and you could have gotten us both a couple.
Well,
Anyway.
I can go in the middle of the game.
Hopefully this is a blowout and you can go get us some drinks before happy hour closes at 7 then.
There you go.
Or hopefully my dad or my husband are watching the stream and are just going to bring me one.
Yeah.
Or any other Scrabble player.
Yeah.
Or Eric's wife.
I don't know her name. And she's not listening anymore. Now she's listening
BTOVAO.
Better be an E. Oh, that was not an
E. E would have given Jackson ovate, and M gives Jackson absolutely nothing. And he's going to be off to a weird spot. ABMOOTV. And I mean, boom, Ambo, mob.
Ooh, quick bingo for Andy. I actually don't know much about. Tell me a bit about. Tell me a bit about Andy's game, play style, skill, etc.
And if you paid attention to NWL results, and your mileage may vary on that, Andy has a string of very, very good results. He was in contention right until the very end at the North American Championship this year. He also puts together a lot of events in the North Carolina area. And what I would say about Andy is he's a smart dude. He's in med school right now. A lot of Scrabble players are very intelligent people, but sometimes that intelligence doesn't equate to the real world as much.
Wow.
Andy, hey. Andy, definitely real world success, off the field success, as well as on the field success. So I haven't seen his games too much. I think there may be some holes in word knowledge at times, but I think at the same time that plays to his advantage sometimes, where he's not sure, but he's so smart and he's seen so much stuff that he makes stuff up, and it's really hard to call somebody out. He's also got a lot of accolades and a lot of history. Both of these guys are youth Scrabble players. Both of these guys are youth North American champions. Andy twice, and Jackson once. I know Jackson ended up on Jimmy Kimmel. Both guys won probably 10 grand or so when they
Didn't Andy also?
Andy won twice.
But wasn't he also on Kimmel?
I don't know. I stopped watching the Jimmy Kimmel after a couple kids on there were exceptionally awkward and it was painful. But in any case, I'll stop. I'm going to be mean now. Jackson's going to open not with Boom, not with Ambo, with Tomb, which I think may be a little bit more defensive of these options. And vowels wrapped around that V may help him play out of it. Do you like Tomb, or would you maybe play Boom or something instead?
Play Boom?
Probably Boom is what Jackson says. In any case, Andy has one playable.
I'm Jackson?
Well, oh yeah.
The thing that pisses me off is that Tombo isn't good, like Tombo Tuna. That always makes me sad.
I'm sorry that makes you sad.
Yeah.
What doesn't make Andy sad is his 7-letter lounger still plays on this board, T-E and O-R, just the one playable bingo for Andy. And he'll take his time, make sure he's not going to miss an 8 on the stream, but lounger, his only playable bingo, is going to come down for 65 pretty soon. And Jackson into AVO picks up SSTY.
It was close. The Y was the last letter he looked at, so there was some chances of picking up a bingo, but nah.
Savoy is a good bailout, though.
Yeah.
SAVOY. Jackson just kind of wandered away. It's okay. You don't actually have to play Scrabble at these tournaments. Just, lost a pen, broke his pen.
I thought maybe he was going to come outside to use the bathroom and just take a look at the stream.
Wanted to go make fun of Evans real quick. Something like that.
It's fair. Evans is in second place, I think, over in the Columns division.
What the heck?
I know.
Oh my God. Is this real life? Sorry, our plea for beverages has finally gone answered, and Conrad has taken care of us. Here comes Lounger.
Our official Stream fairy godmother, honestly.
Yep. Yep. All right. So Lounger comes down AOSSTVY for Jackson. I think this is an extremely forward SAVOY and Tombs, and Jackson's not going to spend more than a couple more seconds here
Yeah.
before he drops it down.
Don't forget, eat your cabbage.
Is Jackson holding Andy?
Does Jackson not know his twos? Does he know TE? Does he know OR? Maybe he doesn't know TE. Or maybe Andy just wanted to like flex for a minute. I don't know.
I told Andy he needs to wink at the camera, but I don't think that's what he was doing. I think he might be on hold here.
That would be,
Why would you challenge Lounger? That's a chair.
yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever's going on, I think Andy's provisional tiles are set off to the side. Maybe this isn't a hold. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Why
Someone
not?
just dropped king cake in front of me, and beer's about to get
I know.
dropped in front of me. I'm
Would you
slightly
like? I'm like
distracted.
slowly. I hope the ASMR is not too bad. I'm like very slowly using just my tongue to eat this king cake.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat king cake on camera. I'm going to savor and enjoy it instead of sneakily try to put it in my mouth.
Mm. Speaking of cake, Andy's drawn anti-fat.
Anti-fat, man. That's bingo bango maybe for him to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, just I'm not sure. I don't know enough about his.
He'll find it.
You think? Okay.
He'll find it. Yeah, anti-fat's going to play, I think, no matter what Jackson does, as it plays with ATE and TOR, or you can play ORA. I think Jackson's going to play Savoy at the bottom and then get hit with a 69-point anti-fat from Andy.
We love that 69.
I wonder if it's the most common bingo score. Like, I feel like it's happened 30 times
I
this
know, right?
tournament, but what is the most common bingo score? Drop your answers in chat. Somebody I'm sure has asked this question and gotten an answer at some point, but
And the stream fairy godmother has returned with beer, but you don't know that. Thank you.
only at this tournament can you like do commentary and drink beer at the same time, right? Where else is that possible? Oh, I love it. I love it here.
You know, I hope we regularize it a little bit more because I love doing this, and I'm more than happy to have a brewski on stream. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Occasionally, the tournament director comes outside and makes funny faces at us and other things. You
I
know?
thought we were getting in trouble, and he's like, "No, we bring you food and we bring
Yeah,
you
no,
beer because it's awesome here."
Yeah.
And I agree. Everything that Lindsay and Austin and Lila and Tim and Kate do together is awesome.
Yeah. And I have to be like totally honest, you know, in 2017, I directed this tournament. I've directed a lot of tournaments. This is like one of the most fun ones to direct too. Like almost everyone is here. You know, being a director is kind of a thankless job. And being at this tournament, like everyone's here to have a good time, I feel.
Yes.
So there's just very limited drama. It's just been, you know, it was really fun. I'd direct this tournament again. Like I'd be happy to.
Nobody comes to this one to win. You know, somebody's going to, and that's awesome. Good for them. But nobody comes here to win. Everybody comes here to.
Everyone wins.
Everybody wins, yeah. Unless you don't do New Orleans
Yeah.
correctly.
Oh, and I love the symmetry of this play.
It is so cool, yeah.
Oh, that is just the worst for Jackson.
Yeah, this board is immediately like way dead, and Jackson's drawn 6 consonants. Okay.
Did keep one, but that is just such a pretty board shape. Nothing goes in front of Tor, which is great. And Savoy went the other way. Oh my goodness. We'll see. We'll see what Jackson can do to come back. I mean, obviously,
No, there's more beer. Now my dad comes with beer. Oh my god! Now we're double fisting on the stream. Okay.
wow. I'm sorry.
Wow. What?
Hmm?
Okay. Cool. So Jackson, yeah, he can't like the shape of this board. He can't like the direction this is going. Now Jackson, more than almost anybody else, has a great sense of board control down the road, and he knows how to manipulate things, open spaces, keep his prospects alive. He's incredible at doing that. But in any case, oh yeah, 2 beer. That's a premonition from Dave from rounds ago. I think Jackson, I just have to play Mog anyway here underneath Savoy and see where it goes. I'm not seeing any good like board forking plays or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, that forks the board reasonably well. If he draws a couple vowels, he's almost certainly gonna bingo.
And Andy, for the first time today, for the first time this game, has not drawn a bingo on his rack, so slowing down just a little bit.
So reading the chat of 14 Domino, Paula did not play 41. I actually had someone play 41 against me. Paula played maybe not, is what I think you're thinking of, and she did get away with maybe not.
That's incredible. So
Yeah.
Conrad rehashing some of the all-time classic phonies that
Yeah.
we've seen at different tournaments.
Yes.
Maybe Matt can do a video on those or something.
Yeah, and they do not still have Huge Ass Beers, unfortunately. Huge Ass Beers is no longer with us. We
But
have
Prohibition is there, and they
yeah,
sell huge ass
yeah,
beers. And
arguably like better from a like their offerings point of view, but
they were playing a metal cover of Zombie when I walked by Prohibition yesterday, and I just
love
immediately
it.
stopped what I was doing and started screaming along because that was just
Hell yeah,
incredible. Like
love that.
that's the vibe we need. I need Dave Weekend there with metal Zombie playing and huge ass beers in hand. What a tournament! What a weekend! Can Jackson play Jim here? Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
GYM.
makes some sense. It's yeah, makes some sense.
Oh, he's looking at Gorm. That's fun too. I like that. GORM would play on top of Savoy and set up his S in a really powerful way, allow him to just drop one bingo and get immediately back into this game. And really, that's hard for Andy to obstruct in a meaningful way. I like
Yeah,
this. What did I say? Jackson's great at doing this kind of stuff, and he's going to do it again right
yeah,
here.
it's one of his biggest strong points, staying in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the top experts are so hard to close the door on, and Jackson and Josh, they spar, 5 games a week and
Right.
discuss this kind of stuff. They're so good at it, both of them. It just will you cannot put them away. You cannot just step on their throat and say, "We're taking the rest of this game off." It never happens, except when it does, but
They just don't just die, you
they
might say.
don't just die in situations where most players just die. And Andy, especially with this rack, is really going to have nothing to stop what Jackson has just concocted.
Well, he's found something.
Corium.
Doesn't score much, but again, it just takes out more more surface area on this board.
Yeah, this is a really good idea. It could burn him, a play through the eye could be absolutely killer, like a
Yeah,
QAID. But
yeah,
after a play like Gorm, Jackson probably held 3 consonants, including an S.
yeah.
And they're probably not high scoring consonants. So if he drew some, he might hit you hard. But if he didn't, you can probably get away with doing that and stopping the 90 or 100-point bingos from coming down should Jackson have drawn those. Now, Jackson is nowhere close. He drew terrible, but,
Right.
you know, you can't know that.
No. And you kind of, I think I might take cerium over corium.
Cerium,
Yeah, I
yeah. I
mean,
think both of those accomplish the same thing, but
yeah,
depends on your leave. Yeah, I'd rather the flexibility. I'd prefer an E and an O.
yeah,
Just the more different tiles you have, the more places you could potentially play in. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, cerium, if you know the word, probably slightly better than corium, but both are great ideas by Andy. Cerebral player. I think Andy might be the only person to ever win the middle school Scrabble championship when he's not in middle school. I think he won as a 5th grader. Um, and then again, either 7th or 8th grade. But yeah, I mean, both of these guys have been playing for far longer than their faces appear.
I should know if Zach won in 5th grade or 6th grade. I should really know this. I think he may have been in 5th grade,
Then maybe not. Yeah,
but
I
maybe
mean,
not. I forget. He compared
somebody
to me.
more well versed on the lore of middle school Scrabble tournaments, let us know.
Yeah, things I don't know anything about. Except I remember when Matt used to get in arguments with his brother.
Looks like Andy's looking at Eco now, ECO on top of Gorm. It holds EIRU, which is not the worst, but not the best. It does not knock out any of the Gorm's possibilities. It's a little bit more of a dice roll, but almost certainly you can drop a 3 on top next turn. So if Jackson
Exactly.
misses Gorm's plays this turn, you can make him go away soon.
And I think this is instructive because yes, you're gonna want to block Gorms for sure. But Jackson just played off 4 letters. The odds of him drawing a bingo aren't that good. They're probably, better than nothing, but you're really trying to make sure you close it off in the next couple turns.
How often is S blank consonant in his range after Gorm? Because that scares me a lot more than consonant consonant S.
I mean, it has to be S blank consonant, right? Because otherwise he has guaranteed something with Savoys.
Right, right. But the possibilities are either S consonant consonant or S consonant blank. How often is it one versus the other? If he held a blank, I'm terrified. If he didn't, you're right. I'm not particularly concerned.
Just yeah, I mean, a lot of the time that he held S consonant blank, he would have missed a bingo.
Oh yeah, Jackson doesn't do that, so. Well, Jackson has one more chance to open some more life. He can play Kid right
Good,
now
yeah.
through the eye and set up Skid and kind of do exactly the same thing. So it forced Andy to make a big equity sacrifice. I think that was maybe a good decision by Andy to do. And now Jackson can do it again. Oh, I thought he had Ethynes. No, that's an F. Okay,
But
but
I
Andy's now picked up his own S. So any setup Jackson makes this time could be capitalized on instead.
I wouldn't have minded having an O here though instead of a third E.
Tones or something. I don't know.
Oh, more just like
I see. You mean
Thoin, yeah, yeah, yeah.
instead of playing Corium, if he had played Cerium, he'd be in better shape right now. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
agree with that. But what happens, happens.
It's also going to be tempting, I think, for depending upon what Jackson plays, for Andy to maybe play FEE, making Fa and opening up that lane. Want to be careful about that.
Shout out to Jeremy in the chat for hopping in. Jeremy Hildebrand. He points out Tombstone is a
Mm.
possibility, and I'm sure Jackson's already thought of that. Like that Jackson is so good at this game. He thinks of stuff like that right away. So that even though 4 of the T's have already been played, is still going to be a possibility. And Jackson with the T in tow, may be able to capitalize on that if he's not able to hit this.
So, little thing, but Thoens would be nice here. I hate FEE. I
Yeah.
absolutely hate it. And unsurprisingly, if he plays FEE, it's gonna come back to bite him immediately. Yes,
Oh yeah.
immediately puts
Jackson's
FEE on his rack. Don't do it.
the equity play, what Conrad's talking about, like obvious play is FEE alongside the left side of anti-fat, making FAEN and ET. But Andy's worked so hard to close this board down. If you open it now and grab this equity, you've just given Jackson a bingo line when you worked so hard to
Yeah.
close this off.
Yeah.
Maybe you play Fens through the C and Corium. Do you look to obstruct here for sure, Conrad?
You have to do something to block here. Otherwise, your play of Corium just became useless. You
Right.
sacrificed an entire turn to block this spot. You have to continue down that. And this is, I think, a big mistake. And he's going to pay for it immediately, but that was not a good play.
So Jackson has one playable bingo after this play, and he's given him a spot for saluted. Conrad, how many points is that?
Oh, I'm going to guess 69.
Hey.
Is it?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't ask that question unless he answers 69,
Okay.
Conrad.
Yeah. That's
Jackson's
fair.
also got like some sick double doubles. He's got
Yeah.
ALIUNDE. He's got audience. But you're not going to take your 44, 39 point double doubles when you have a 69 point bingo available instead. So Jackson likely to play saluted yesterday.
Yeah. EEF would have been a decent shot as well. Yeah. I think I might have tried to block Skid just in case, but
Yeah, I think I would have actually just tried to tilt my opponent and play. Yeah, well, I would have tried to cash it, but I don't think Andy had a word there. Again, if he played Cerium instead of Corium, we're in a totally different place
Yeah.
here. But tiny mistakes can really compound
They
down the
do.
road.
Yep.
You got to optimize every turn if you can. You don't know
Yep.
what's going to happen, but you have to take every opportunity to better your advantage in the
Yeah.
game. So Saluted comes down for Jackson, 161 to 177, and Jackson doesn't go away. It looked
No.
like it was going to be a blowout after back-to-back bingos from Andy, and he's right back in it all of a sudden. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Andy, if he wants to keep riding this equity train, HOE to the right side of Saluted, making EH and DO, keeps a great EINS leave. He's got a sick 5 overlap Hoise as well, HOISE to the right side of Lounger for 30 points. But the S is so powerful with the Kid to Skid hook that
Yeah.
I really wouldn't play it unless I had an incredible reason to. Also, HOED to the D and saluted sets up the front S hook for Andy. So play a little offense. Even though you're slightly ahead, I think it's worth opening the board in this situation because it puts you in such a good position. What do you think, Conrad? HOE or HOED or something else?
I mean, I'm a little scared, obviously, of the S hook that Hode opens. I mean, I know,
You're
obviously.
scared of the S hook, the one unseen S.
Well, it's the 2 blanks. I don't know. Ugh. There's definitely the element of, like, a bit of tilt, or, like, a bit of, like, over, scaredness, if you will.
Challenge.
Timidity.
There you go.
Um Yeah, Ho for what? It's 18, I think.
Hose 18,
Yeah, I
EINS.
like Ho for 18, I think.
Quackle does too. I thought the setup with HOED would sim a little bit better than it does, but
And
alas.
perhaps high and fail. I'm not really sure.
High and fail.
Self-descriptive play.
Okay.
So keeping a pretty subpar leave, and I
But
mean that's after hose, you know.
all right, and Jackson's going to play Wart and once again kind of fork this board
Oh
wide
no, oh
open.
no, he's doing something else.
Jackson didn't play Wart.
Oh no, he did, but why did he play word?
Oh, he's setting up the Z. Oh, Jackson. Oh, so good. So immediate too. He's forking the board, but also setting up the Z. Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd have seen that faster if I'm not drinking beer, Brelly. No, just kidding. I'm a scrub. I've never seen nothing, no matter what.
Watch him draw
E.
all consonants to
Oh yeah, of
be
course.
rewarded for
Oh my
the.
god. Yep. Oh my.
Oh lordy. Oh
I'm gonna
goodness.
walk in and give Jackson a beer after that draw. Oh my god.
God. Oh no.
Isn't
It's
this the
so.
second time we've seen QXZ on a rack today? Sam Rosen had it
Yeah.
earlier this morning, and Andy thwacks the spot. I don't know if he's doing it because he's concerned about the setup or if he's riding an equity train. I think a little of each.
Oh, I think he's definitely blocking the spot. I mean, it's just like Wart is just an odd. It just screams, huh? That just screams setup, and it happens to keep a good leave for him. So, and he really just needs to draw a bingo.
Caddy and feed or exchange.
So he's gonna go for Cuddy and feed.
I think that's right. I think that's better than exchanging here for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like you're not anywhere close to a bingo, so you may as well. Ooh, beers.
Beers.
And he just does not want to draw bingo.
He keeps leaving great leaves and drawing like 1,000 E's.
Yeah. Well, EENOS was asking for another E, but
Yeah. Jackson, if he wants to open this board now, ADZ down from the A and Savoy does it, but with so many unseen E's, he's not going to be
man,
able to
this
do
is
it next turn. It's
th-
Andy's turn anyway.
this
Focus
is
on
one of
that.
those moments. If it were Collins, nudge and CH for 90.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I can't play that game. Okay.
uh,
Andy can play Neb above Gorm, making Ego and Boy for 17.
block skid.
Or he can take the skid spot
His
if he
beer's gone. Through the GO, beer's gone.
beer's gone or beer fails.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what does he do? I mean, I think knocking out Kid, is that even something he wants to do? He's only ahead
No,
by
no, he
11 at this
no, he
point,
does
and he
not
has
want.
the
No, he
S.
does
You want to
not want
leave
to
that
knock it. Oh yeah,
available.
keep that open as long as you can. I mean, I don't know what he does otherwise, but
BENES for 26. There's 2 blanks in the bag. Maybe we go digging. Do you still have Jackson pegged on a Z? Like that was such an
yeah,
obvious setup.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he's
No,
still got a Z.
you
He's
still think he has the Z for sure. You have to, which means you're probably safe to keep the hook open. There's no reason to think Jackson has a blank by any means after Wart and Cuddy. In fact, I think it's extremely unlikely he would have a blank unless he just happened to draw one.
So Neb knocks out the skid spot,
Yeah,
but also kind of strengthens the S for boys plays underneath.
that's true.
So
But it also would open spots for Boyo, which I don't love. But I
on
mean,
the two O's,
again,
yeah.
not not huge plays, but
I think this is fine for Mandy. There's not much to do there. I
yeah.
think this is a fine
I mean,
idea.
there's a lot. If he draws something that starts with an S, and yeah, I mean, he's in great shape. And could this be the one? No, he drew
Oh
another
my
E.
God, E's for days for
Yeah,
Andy. Wow. Whereas Jackson, on the other end of that, has had one E all
yeah.
game.
Oh,
But, you know,
Reach, Reech. Is that TWL? I
uh,
didn't even know Dunch was TWL, to be honest. Yeah, this is a
Reach is not, but Sciche
oh god.
is, and that
I
plays for
thought
44.
CEIL, but well, Jackson picks up the first blank to go with all of those one, and
Oh
there's the
my
J.
God. Jackson's seen one E, but JQXZ instead. This is
I can picture Joel Horn right now. Just like where are the E's?
wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you know Sage, then yeah, obviously take it.
I think
I know that deep down somewhere, but wouldn't find it.
Jackson was, I think, the most popular boy's name like for the last decade, basically. But I think most Jacksons now probably spell it with the
With
J, X, and Z
yeah.
all together in there somehow. If my teaching high school and seeing ridiculous child
Oh,
names is any indicator.
that's like Brandon, my partner's biggest thing is to talk about all of his students named JAXON.
Well, get a Z in there. JAXZON. Come on, let's make it happen. If we're gonna
Yeah.
go big, let's go real big. So without C or SEICHE, which is a word I've never seen before in my life, I guess this is probably CEIL, or if you want to make Jackson upset, HEED, and just keep flexing these H's. I don't know. If I've got that C, I want to hold on to it and punish that H next turn if I can't
No.
this turn. So what other plays allow me to do that?
I mean, playing off EE somehow would be nice if you could do it in a safe-ish way, because CEIRS is so nice.
Yeah, but there's really nowhere DEE or GEE for.
Well, Heed. I mean, Heed would
Yeah, but
accomplish
he
it.
he takes away the big CH spot. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
for
want to do
you.
that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
But then if you play GEE instead of Heed, you're gonna make Jackson
yeah.
wonder why did you do that?
Well, Jackson's not showing any signs of having a quote good rack, so Seal CEIL feels pretty safe here. And if Andy draws 18 more E's or whatever, now he's got an extra consonant to work with. Of course, it's gonna, if Jackson ever gets back to a word that may or a rack that makes actual words, he may it may be harder for Andy to shut down the board, but
Oh, tricky turn for Andy for sure. Lots of options, but none of them are good. I think I might play GEE for 9. As weird as that is, you don't want to score 9 in a game you're slightly ahead, but the leave is so good. Holding the C really synergizes with that H.
I just hate that there's 5 I's left. I kind of want to get rid of an I.
Well, maybe GIE in the same spot because there's only 3 E's.
Yeah,
Maybe actually keep
yeah.
CERS. Seal's fine too. I think this makes sense. Maybe I'm too fixated on holding this C to crush that H. But yeah, this is
Right,
a good
so it's
play.
only going to score 39, 40, and 45 best case probably, but
Is Andy going to draw a blank here? That would be close to game over if he does. Jackson's still so far from being able to do anything reasonable at all.
yeah.
Think he's going to play Jug through the U and Dunch and just hold ZLR Rex blank. Andy drew fouls. Oh
Andy
my
drew
God.
vowels.
Nobody
Oh
wants to do
goodness.
anything this game except.
Oh, this is yeah. Well, actually, now uh, it's not a bad draw for Andy because he drew a nice spot for Boyo and OE keeping a rise.
Yeah,
And
that's really
again, you
solid.
see Jackson play Jug. Sure he could be fishing, but you kind of have to look at this and think he's probably struggling. And he could also play Eon, AEON, if he wants to.
Whoa, ES. Jackson's found an E and an
Wow, and
S.
an
He's got
S.
some
Wow.
life yet. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not going to do anything this turn, but
Oh, yeah.
next turn maybe. So
Now,
now Boyo and OE doesn't work out nearly as well in Andy's favor. I think Jackson just drops the X and then keeps going,
yeah.
maybe.
OI also Reasonable shot. It's just 12 vowels, 14 consonants unseen. So there are a lot of vowels in the bag still somehow.
And Jackson doesn't have almost any of them if he's
Right.
playing consonants
Right.
every turn. So
So
the
if you're
bag is
Andy,
more
yeah,
vowels than consonants at this
yeah.
point.
I
And
understand the decision to play OI for sure.
yeah,
Um,
but I think you're going to go find more vowels and be very sad.
yeah.
Maybe AEON to the N and Dunge.
The
I don't
nice
know.
thing is erase, like if he draws an I, which is obviously the most likely thing, he's gonna get bailed out more.
Soiree and Gorms, maybe if you want to go looking for both blanks. I thought maybe.
Oh,
Oh, he found two consonants. Okay, but
but one
uh,
was the V.
the one was a V, which is not really one that he wanted.
Oh, maybe Van. I think Van might be coming. I don't know. Okay, right, but we still have to figure out what is Jackson Van?
He either plays Oil and Lex, or he just plunks the X. I think he's gonna look through and figure out how often does ELRSZ blank actually bingo for me. Seltzer's a thing he can draw with an E or T, but I don't see. I guess Glazers if he draws an A. If he draws one of those I's, what does he get? Sizzler. Oh my god! So he actually, if this is a one-tile fish that hits a ton with
Yeah,
4 A's, 4 E's, and 4 I's unseen. You're gonna hit on any of them
yeah.
if Andy doesn't beat you there. Sizzler, that's awesome. I'd love to see a blank Z on the stream. A double Z bingo.
A double Z, hooking a blank Z onto the existing Z cost me a game this tournament last year.
You played ZZ?
No, Austin hooked, I think it was a Z onto FIZ. I was like, all right, the board's closed. I'm all set. He plays end zoned with a blank Z, making FIZZ GG.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, no,
Wow.
why me?
Scoring didn't stop for them.
It did not, no.
I think as Jackson looks at this turn longer and longer, this becomes more and more enticing.
Yeah.
But these one-tile fishes you can't just make. You have to go through and look at the pool and look at
Yeah.
the frequency with which you hit. Jackson looking for an AEI, maybe a T out of this rack. And we know there's tons of L's in the bag for him.
Yeah. Now, if you're Andy, do you switch things up and play like versed? That kind of
Oh,
blocks pretty much everything.
that's a
Although,
key.
did Jackson manage to miss?
I mean, like puzzlers could be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Versed, Conrad saying VERST or VERSTE.
See, has I assume cave spelled out, but that's, I mean, again, in a vacuum, okay, sure, equity, yeah, great. You're putting the V there. Reality is not equity.
If Andy plays cave here, I hope he loses this game in painful fashion because that's just not a play you can make. It's so good from an equity perspective, but just given everything you've seen, Jackson just fished one tile. Don't let him bingo for 100. And Andy, I think
like,
definitely thinking better
yeah.
of that.
I
Versed looks so good, but it's
Yeah.
hard to see and think about making that play.
Yeah.
Especially if you know the 6 VERST.
But yeah, you have to play the 6 because you need to block SZ plays with Gorm, I
Oh,
think.
Borman Sizzle even
Yeah,
is like
yeah. So Vaster actually, it doesn't. That'll still give Prez back. I think you have to play Versty is like the only justifiable non-fish here. I think. I mean, like I could see.
he set up Vaster.
Yeah, well, is in the same spot, which would give Prez back, which is a mess. I mean, obviously he doesn't know that, but it may not.
Yeah,
Won't
if you
end
know
well.
Versed is so good, but
Yeah.
it's easy to overlook that. Don't play Cave.
Cave just is a problem if he plays that. But
Jackson fished one tile after playing the J.
I mean, maybe he thinks he's gonna, like, if they swap bingos, he believes he'll still win, which is reasonable some of the time, but
We're talking about Sizzler commercials. You know who the biggest endorser of Sizzler is?
Nigel Richards, right?
Marshawn Lynch.
Oh,
Marshawn
okay.
Lynch loves
No,
Sizzler.
don't do that. No, 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 no,
right.
no, 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 no.
Conrad, why don't you go get a drink and I'll just fly solo for a minute?
I mean, who is the person who said you hoped for painful death?
I
Like,
did not hope for a painful death. I think I said I hope he loses
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
I get it. I get the rationale. I just disagree.
Yeah.
Speltz plays right now for Jackson, Speltz for 59. I don't know. Now Jackson's got a really hard turn. He was really
That
hoping
was that
to
was a
hit.
that was the best case. I mean, obviously, it's fairly likely that Andy would get something like that, but
Yeah. And ERST is such a strong leave with all those vowels. You think you're going to hit most of the time, but I don't know. I felt like you had a great advantageous position as Andy, and I don't know that you needed to roll the dice and try to draw bingo.
yeah.
Where's Jackson playing? Prez? Yeah. And then he's going to get hit with Hysteria and lose.
Well, no, because it's going to open a lane underneath it.
Yeah, but he's going to draw 4 eyes, isn't he?
Well, he might draw 4 eyes, sure, but somehow Jackson's in the game.
Or Ariste on when Boyos and IT is his highest scoring, but that opens a huge line. Just asking to get bingoed back.
Yeah.
How many tiles are unseen? 16. Okay, so if Andy bingos now, he leaves 2 in the bag.
God, this or
Noisily for
something, yeah.
Jackson.
So
But Ariste is going to score 80. And Noisily is going to score substantially less. So
yeah,
Shinily or Noisily. I think Ariste actually,
yeah,
it gives back bingos, but it gives back terrible low scoring bingos.
yeah. And Andy's going to get or likely to get a blank, right?
Yeah, he's more than likely going to draw that second blank out of the bag. And
Yeah. So I think the reality is Andy made this game way harder and way more stressful than he needed to. But
yeah, but I mean, Jackson fought. Jackson did what he
yeah,
could, and he
yeah,
had just, I mean, some of the worst draws I've ever seen, and
yeah.
still not going down without a fight. All right,
What do
here
you
comes
think about
Ariste.
Prez though? I'm actually not certain.
Well, I don't know why it happened instantly. Like
Yeah,
Jackson's got plenty of time. Like I sort of understand, but I at least would have thought longer. I think maybe even just playing packs and leaving the board open at that point and trying to bingo for
yeah,
100. I don't know. There's a lot to think about.
yeah. Oh,
Oh
the
no!
loose
Oh no!
tile.
There's a tile.
Um, Are we supposed to say something about that?
I
I'm
don't know the
assuming Andy
rules. I
knows. Yeah.
don't.
Okay, Andy saw.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I think he just put it down there.
If Andy doesn't draw the blank, maybe there's. Oh, there
No.
it is. Okay.
All right.
Oh, it
Well,
was. Okay.
that works.
OE in the bag.
Paw like. Just kidding.
Pinwheel.
Oh, Prezi. uh, yeah, blocking Tombstone. Sad.
Oh.
F's in chat for the death of Tombstone.
And Jackson has to know that bingoing right now just loses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So maybe he doesn't.
I mean, I don't know what the spreads are right now. If he can come up with something, like, great. I know he's right to think about now. He immediately spells out yen on the right side after bingoing,
Oh yeah.
which is clever. If the blank's in the bag, this gets interesting, but most likely Andy can block.
Yeah, Jackson loves to do this. Like if he's got the stuff and you don't, he'll try to set it up. If you play yen and you do draw a blank, you can bingo for 95, but I think it's just too easy for Andy to block. I think Jackson's going to realize the same thing. Like just play AAL or AIL or something and it's probably still done.
Yeah. I like Virl, I think, VIRL, a little better than yen. But even then, Andy can just play Weep and end the game. I don't know.
Yeah, Jackson's just done.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there ever a chance if you play off the IL and draw a PW or something, like something where Andy's caught with, or W blank and Andy's caught with a bunch of
Jackson play
Wispily?
Wispily. No, I mean, I
No,
don't know.
no, that's the N, not the L. Good stretch from Benji in the background there.
You play IN for 2 down from the I in Ariste and hope that nothing can be done? No, because any AE play like just wins too. You literally just play AE and block.
Yeah.
Hey, a question in the chat of how do we know what tiles are unseen? Yeah, we're running everything through Quackle. We have actually 2 different teams quackling it. That's how the scores get auto-populated. We don't count these and add them up. The computer does that for us. The computer also keeps track of the unseen tiles, and we just run it through a script to put it in the corner. It's miracles of technology, I suppose.
Miracle of modern technology. Are you excited for this piece of king cake that's been sitting
I'm
here for an
so
hour?
excited for this piece of king cake. Promised the winner of this game would get a little FaceTime on the camera as an interview. So we'll get Andy in here.
And
But I
you
let
can
him know
have
it would
fun.
be a brief interview because, I mean, happy hour ends at 7 o'clock and it's
It's 6:46.
6:46.
I have dinner at 7:30, so
So,
I love y'all, but I need some food. I guess I do have half a cheeseburger sitting here. I should probably tell someone to put that in their fridge for me. In case ever anyone was wondering what my food situation was. You know, it's important to people. I mean, we've again run out of things to talk about. What is king cake? I feel like if I try to express, I will be doing a disservice. So I think I'm gonna ask someone else to describe it or Google it. But it has
no,
to be something
I refuse to answer this question. The only way you're going to find out is to come to this tournament next year.
that
You want to
they'll
learn
do
what a
it.
king cake is?
Or at least go to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, fair. Could Jackson maybe ever induce a mistake if he plays oily for 22 from the OI? Yeah, I think this is good. A good idea. And he just gets bingoed out on and
Yeah.
loses now. It would be extra insulting if Andy like whiffs on this bingo too, just the way this game has gone for Jackson. But he has pinwheel for 71 or pinwheel for 69.
How many like I'm assuming I guess EEW is no, I don't know if that's enough.
I mean, yeah, Andy.
Does he have to play pinwheel? I mean, like,
No, I
if
think
he
he
doesn't
can just
find
play.
it,
He can play anything.
it's anything that just kind of
Anything that stops.
blocks is still good
Well,
enough.
yeah,
Okay,
even Wisp and Lays at this point, or
is
Wasp and
enough. Okay,
Lays is enough. It outruns the bingos. So
expect to see pinwheel here, but
Andy knows the word, but you're distracted by looking at 1,000 different things right now. So if
well, I
you
would think he's already seen it, right? He had 5 minutes
then
to.
what is he doing? The bag is empty. Just play it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he's only 99% sure.
Yeah, if you're wrong, you lose a game. So maybe, yeah, I mean, you have to make a play you're 100% sure of.
Yeah, and still score enough to win.
Oh yeah, okay. Or just block. Like
Yeah, right.
one of the top options according to Quackle, if you're not gonna bingo, is burn your blank and play DWALE and AE under Ariste. That's actually the third best situation for Andy, other than pinwheel or pinwheel in
That
one of the two
that's
spots.
terrifying.
That's ridiculous. DWALE for 17. But I guess it blocks every single possible bingo that Jackson could have. It's a lot of brain power to figure that out. It'd be easier to just play your out bingo and win. But again, you got to be 100% sure. You'd hate to play a phony on accident and lose.
Probably an interesting game for Jackson to go over later, just in the sense of Prez was obviously played very fast, but should he have taken a whole different set of lines? Perhaps. I mean, he really got like 2 vowels in like 6 turns. Maybe should he have tried something else? Like, this was certainly a reasonable approach, I'd say, from like Kadi on. Wort was played pretty
Just
fast.
everything made sense. I
Yeah,
mean, Gorm was like maybe not standard, but I love the play and what it did. Tomb, the very first play, I think maybe was the only questionable decision he's made aside from
it's funny.
Prez.
Yeah. Well, at any point you could decide instead of right. So here's the thing: if you are better than your opponent, and Andy's a good player, Jackson's one of the top players in the country. One of the easiest ways to lose when you are better than someone is to get stuck with crap racks for the entire game. So there's something to be said for just, I have all this terrible things. I'm just getting rid of it and I'm going to move on with my life because the best way I can win is to score points. Scoring should never stop.
A question in the chat. Should Jackson have played noisily? Like, it's 100% to lose, and Jackson will try to do anything he can to win a game, even if it costs him some spread. Jackson now lives in a universe where he can not bingo at all, but he's willing to accept that if it gives him, a chance for Andy to make a blunder and lose his game. So, yeah, he could have played noisily. I'm 100% sure he saw noisily and shinily and just decided to try to create some chaos instead.
Well, he sees Wasp, which is good enough, but
And then, oh my God, look at this. So Jackson, after he scored 69 for Saluted, he scored 22 for Wart, 22 for Cotty, 22 for Dunch, 22 for Jug,
and then his next 2 plays averaged almost 22.
17, 29, 15. Someone asked, is it normal for Jackson to be able to be under 300 in a pre-end game? Watch the last game he played at the Scrabble Players Championship.
Wait, what is he?
He's playing Vile
Okay.
4 or 5. And Jackson can salvage some spread and hit Prezi now for 51. And if Andy, for whatever reason, challenges that, he actually loses.
Does this even leave him an outplay?
No.
Lordy.
Well, it gives him a WAP next to Prez, right? WAP.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But Prezi knocks that
Oh
out.
yeah, right. Yeah, it would
But it still wins the game. Unless he challenges Prezi. Like that line could happen where Andy thinks this is Jackson doing one of his unchallengeable phony. Oh, okay, Andy's gonna pick it back up.
Question, is Andy the Cowboys or is he the Packers?
I mean, the underdog was the Packers. The Cowboys put together what seemed to be an incredible season. Now, anybody who knows football at all knows when the Cowboys have an incredible season, they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. But, I mean, that's what happened here. All right, so Andy decides to pick it up, play Wasp, and he will allow Jackson to bingo out with one of his gazillion bingos, but it's not going to quite be enough. Iodine's only scores 68. That is his highest scoring bingo. And Andy will hang on to win this one 418 to 384, assuming all of this happens. Maybe Jackson passes his bingos and plays Prezi just to bait a challenge or something, but even then, that's not enough for him to get back in. Jackson's just going to lose. So we will get Andy in here to do a brief little interview before I step away for dinner. We are back with 4 additional games at the Crescent City Cup tomorrow. Have not made a decision on what lexicon we're going to show. I think we're going to try to be Lexiflexible. And, you know, if somebody gets Gibsonized in one of the 2 divisions, we'll show you the other one. Not really interested in showing a second place game.
Yeah.
But we will see. I'd imagine, I mean, just the way the standings were earlier today, like I imagine that CSW is exceptionally tight right now. But with Jackson losing this game, with Josh losing to Ed Roth last round, with Annette losing on stream earlier, like I think everybody who's trying to run away with this thing is just losing.
Which is tradition here, to be honest.
Yeah.
We've had very few runaway victories in 12 years. All right, and that is the final score. I'm going to bid y'all adieu. I will go get Andy if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead, and I'll do a quick little interview here.
Look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll be back at 9:30 or 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern, with 4 additional games from the Crescent City Cup. I'll hang out here, try to get out of Conrad's way so he can grab Andy, and we will have a brief little interview before we close for today. Thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in, watching us, sticking with me and my bad puns, and we'll get a little brief adieu from Andy, who at 9-7 would need a lot of help tomorrow to win this tournament, but has put himself in good position to cash and make things interesting. I'll cut to overhead mic for a brief second until Andy comes on out here. Until then.
So that was a good play because it gave you a chance there.
Okay, so all the word decisions I was thinking of were okay. So unsure of Lounger, and I was thinking about scoring as well.
I mean, Lounger's a chair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definition help.
Well, I used to play this computer game called Web.
Yeah, I remember what.
They have
I'll do it. I didn't play that enough.
Did you ever? No, I figured you had another S.
Which one?
Well, when you played Gore, I have that. So I considered either eco or block this, and I said Well, if you didn't have an S, you probably would have played Mog.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Because you played Form, I have to do that.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think Corey's nice. Yeah, fuck, that was hard.
Yeah, you played a good game. You did right enough to
I'm
challenge.
glad that it would have kind of soured it. It didn't be. It was good.
Well, I guess I'll have to do the math at the end to see if walking with Vile.
I mean, you had King Whale. That's probably your best.
Oh, I didn't even look for it.
Yeah,
Disappointing.
Vile's a nice idea, though. I think I have Prezi.
Yeah, he played Vile, and then you played Prezi, and for some reason you challenged Prezi.
Yeah.
That's what we were.
That's
wondering was
why
gonna happen.
when you played Vile, I was like, I'm hoping you play Vile because I played
Yeah.
Prezi, hoping you
Right.
think I'm trying to, get some spread from
Sure, yeah.
challenge. I win.
And blocks.
Well, it
your-
wouldn't be the first time that.
I know
Well, I
that.
guess I should have just looked for bingo. Instead, I wrote down all of your bingos.
Yeah. That was part of why I played Prez as well. Because I felt like the extension could come up.
Matt's happy to chat with you.
Well, we'll do the slip and then we'll. 4, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah, missing
Yeah.
pinwheel. Well,
I understand like your mentality is not looking for
correct.
bingos.
Well, I was also low on time. Guess I should have looked.
Did you consider Syria? Bones and Skin would have made your life a lot easier, as it turned out. Like on this play, keeping OE instead of E, then you would have FOEH and S on the next turn.
Oh,
You had no way of knowing,
no, I didn't. I just.
as it turned out.
All right, Jackson, what's your point on
Did you had the Z?
that? Yeah, this seemed like a Z set.
Yeah, I mean,
It was.
Did you ever
No, but.
well, it was funny because I kept HRZ with that, and then I drew 4 constants. So I didn't actually have anything.
So you didn't have anything, but.
So I was happy to see you block and
And then you drew QX.
a lot of constants.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I was really hoarding the high-point tiles.
Well, Dunch told me like, okay, I can afford to open it up for a turn or two.
I mean, that was an X setup as well.
It looked like an X setup, but I couldn't do anything about it. I think I had a lot of vowels.
Yeah, it's the thing, there's so many vowels that like in the pool that I didn't really mind having those constants. I'm hoarding the good stuff.
All right,
Thanks, Ed.
thanks. Always a good one, Jackson.
You can go talk. I'll spread.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy, go on.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so as promised, we're bringing you the winner of that game. I told Andy before he went in there that we're gonna bring the winner of the matchup in, and he's like, "All right, I'll tell Jackson to come out." So, and Ed made almost exactly the same comment and exactly the same joke before his. So I think all you have to do, if you want to beat one of the giants on stream, is have absolutely no confidence that you're gonna do it, and then you'll end up sitting next to me a few minutes later. Andy, tell us about that game. What did you think?
Well, it's always a good time to play Jackson. He's a phenomenal player, and he's one of those players that makes me elevate my game, and I did it until the end, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll probably ask about that last turn.
I mean, we overheard it. We've got a mic above the camera, and we heard. Yeah, you weren't even thinking about the bingo. It is what it is. You're in a tricky situation. Jackson always makes things very hard, no matter how far ahead you are. But hang on. Oh my God, beer duty, baby. I love this tournament. Jackson made it challenging for you for sure. But you held on. You did what you needed to do. Always helpful to open with 2 bingos back to back.
Correct.
How confident were you on anti-fat?
100%.
I thought so. Yeah, Conrad didn't know your game very well, and I'm like, Andy knows this.
Sure.
Andy's smarter than that. So cool.
Well,
What turn stood out to you?
well, I think the critical decision was the Corium turn. I think that was the one where I had to decide what kind of game we wanted to play, and I decided, since I had a lead, let's make Jackson work for his points.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved that play in hindsight. Cerium also maybe, EEEO, it's always so dicey and flexible between those two leaves, but I thought you were in big trouble when Jackson set up the S, and you're like, I'm not afraid. I'm going to thwack that thing down. So I thought that was a really cool decision. And yeah, like you said, it drove the pace of the game and kept things tight and clunky until the end. I think there was maybe one or two more we wanted to look at with you as well. Yeah, so you saw Jackson after Wart. What did you think of when he made that play?
Well, I saw the power tiles were out, and I said, there's a potential for the Z. It turns out, I think he said he did have the Z, and I did want to block that. It also happened, I think it was probably the highest equity play regardless, so it was convenient that it did two things. It scored, cleaned up my rack a little bit and kept it close still.
Yeah, you came down so fast with that, and I mean, it's an equity play. I didn't even notice the Z setup. Conrad caught me on it, but I was curious to see, did you notice it? Were you aware? And yeah, of course you were. Of course you were.
Well, when you
Fully aware.
play really skillful players like Jackson, you always have to think a couple turns ahead. Dunch seemed like some kind of X setup or potentially a triple on the right side, but I couldn't do anything about that.
Right, yeah, just the way it ended up shaping up. And then yeah, we were back and forwards on this play of Cave. Clearly it worked out for you, but we saw you were looking at playing maybe Vaster down in the corner with Boyos and IT. Tell us what was going through your head there.
Correct. So this is the kind of play that, it's kind of like you're entering the fourth quarter of a playoff game where you got to decide how do you want this final quarter to go? Do you want this to be a close game where who gets the next bingo wins, or I said let it be open season, and I want to make sure that there's two spots for bingo. There were both blanks out there, so I said he's probably going to bingo even if I play Vaster. So I'll play Cave. The odds of me drawing into a bingo were fairly high from my perspective, and I'm glad I did hit it at least.
Yeah, it's extremely high from your perspective. Yeah, and you did indeed hit it AEI into the pole and Aristay and game over from there. It was a very interesting one. At the moment, I did not like it, and the more we looked at it, the more I'm like, I see it. Yeah, but your metaphor, I think, is spot on. What kind of game do we want this to be? Let's score some points. Let's play some offense.
So would you have played Vaster, or what did you guys?
There's one other VERSTE right
Okay.
there. Is it like a really strange 6? But if you see that, it scores a little better than Vaster, shuts down the board a little bit more. I think if you see that, that's the standout. But between Cave and Vaster, you could go either way, I think, on that. Yeah.
I that does have a purpose. The X, it looks like it obstructs the board, but it's still very easy to hit that C. And I'm not sure what Jackson held when he dumped the X. That one actually raised a lot of flags in my head because I said maybe he's very close to a bingo.
Oh, he was extremely close.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he kept the Z.
He's
Interesting.
fishing for
watch.
Sizzler, fishing for Seltzer, fishing for lots of stuff. I think he hit on AEIT and a few other draws. Picked up a P, so he missed. But I was like, if you play Cave and he picked up the right tile, you were going to get obliterated.
Yeah,
But
there's always a risk.
it's always a risk. You're right, and you decide what kind of game you want to play, offense or defense. You picked offense, and you outscored him in the end. So always feels good to knock off one of the best players in North America. But you did it. You've done it before, right?
Yes, not on stream, as I'm sure the folks at home will be. They remember. But it's always a
Oh, that's
pleasure
right.
to play
I
with
remember
him.
that one. Yeah, Jackson's an incredible player, and you're coming up there very quick. Tell us a little bit more about the tournaments you put together in North Carolina since we got you here.
Sure. So I'm a medical student at University of Virginia, and typically I put on tournaments usually the day after an exam because what am I going to do after an exam? I could either, I could either just watch television or I could say, okay, well, let's play some Scrabble with some friends. It's a good, way to socialize. I've got some good friends over there. Nancy's over there, and importantly, it gives the Charlottesville people some more opportunities to play this game that we all love. So similar to how you're doing your contributions to growing this game, I'll do my part when I can.
It takes a village to make Scrabble great, and Andy's certainly an important part of that village. With that, we have one exciting announcement to make. We're going to do a Twitch raid. Anybody who's still here and watching Scrabble has more Scrabble to watch tonight. We're going to dump y'all onto Ancient Cosmographer's stream, aka Charles Ranke. You can hang out with him, watch him do some words. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel or follow this channel on Twitch if you like more Scrabble content. And there's plenty more to come tonight. We're back on at 9:30 a.m. Central Time tomorrow with 4 final games from the Crescent City Cup. And hey, Andy, congrats. Nice game. Good to see you here. Andy said he came in with 1 goal. He wanted to make it onto the stream at some point. I think you achieved that goal and then more. Not only did you make it on stream, you may beat one of the best players in North America on it. So congrats to Andy. Go have some fun tonight.
Thank
And
you.
thanks for your time
We will.
today.
Thank you.
To everybody else, we will send you over to Ancient Cosmographer. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.